Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this session. Um, my name is Juan Manuel Molina,
My name is Mabel Martinez.
and we are Education USA advisors in Mexico. And today we're going to be having a conversation on helping you to understand the financial process for graduate school, and specifically to helping you understand if you are eligible for financial aid. And this is a very interesting topic. Mabel and I, we both have done graduate school in the United States, and we're going to also be sharing some of our experience in this process. Well, first we want to start with understanding or helping you understand what financial aid is. Sometimes we use this word and some interchangeably, but we want to help you understand that first. So, Mabel, can you help us and tell us what financial aid, what types of financial aid are for graduate students?
Yeah, sure. Um, and welcome again to this session. Hopefully, all the content that we share will help you decide, have a better plan for finance your studies. So before going to what are the different types or the most common types of financial aid available for graduate students, I would like to define what can we understand as financial aid. And basically, it's a general term that includes all type of money, loans, and work study programs offered to students to pay for their education. And when I say education, is the whole package, not only your tuition, because sometimes we only focus on the tuition, and there's also fees, there's also books that you have to pay for, there's also your living expenses, um, any other type of expense that you are going to that, are going, that you are going to um, be having while you are a student in the United States. Okay, so where they can come from? They can come from different sources, such as federal or state governments, private or public universities and colleges, private institutions, non-profit or independent organizations. So there are a lot of financial aid sources that you can look up, that you can search for, and that you can definitely apply if you have if you fulfill with the requirements at the profile to cover your studies. Okay, and
A question on that, Mabel.
sure.
Can these different sources, can they be stacked? Could I have more than one source? For example, one from the university and one from a organization and from the government?
Yeah, of course. Uh, Most of them, they will allow you to do that, but it is always important that you read and that you understand the guidelines and the requirements of each scholarships. Most of them will allow you to have one scholarship and maybe one fellowship and one loan. So if that works for you, perfect. But yes, my best advice here is that you understand the requirements and the guidelines, and be sure that you are not that you will not have any problem if you stack this financial aid types. But yeah, that's a great question, and it is a common one. Thank you, Juanma. And now moving forward of one of the most common types of funding, we will have scholarships, and it's a gift of financial support that does not need to be repaid, which is great. Is that probably is one of the reasons that scholarships as are the one of the most common types of financial aid that students look for. But they are usually based on past of the candidates. So you need to have some credentials in terms of a good profile of eligibility, that we will talk about that later. But it's important that you know that you will not receive a scholarship just because you are a good student. You need to be more than a good student. And these type of scholarships are available for graduate students and for undergraduate students. Just make sure that you are applying to the right one. They are usually full or partial. You can have a full scholarship or a partial scholarships, and they can come, as I mentioned before, they can come from governments, from the universities. So for example, when I did my master's in the United States, I got a scholarship from CONACYT, which is from the Mexican government, and it was a partial somehow scholarship. So yeah, uh, pay attention to this. Also, we have fellowships, another real common type of financial aid. Mostly they come from universities, but they can also come from other types of institutions. Generally, they don't require service, and you don't need to repay uh, all the benefits that the fellowship will grant to you. They are very competitive, they are very prestigious, and usually are for graduate students only, because they are usually available in specific fields of study, mostly research. So probably will be more fellowships available for PhD students. Okay, and this is another great resources that students can uh, look up. Also, we have graduate assistantships, which is a great resources. I'm not sure, Juanma, if you had the opportunity to have this when you were a student.
I did. I had my first year in my master's program, I had a graduate assistantship, and in my second year, I had a teaching assistantship.
Ah, nice. I had a research assistantship in my second term of my master's degree in the United States. And I must say, it is a great experience because you will have the opportunity to work directly with, for example, in the research assistantship with a researcher or a professor, and you will do research in a specific field, working on a specific project, trying to create solutions for this research problem. And for the teaching assistantship, you will work with a professor. Either you will help him or help her imparting classes or preparing the materials for the class. And yeah, if you have a teacher experience previously, that will help you a lot to get a teaching assistantship. Or there's a third type of assistantship, that is the service assistantship, that either you can work on a library, on the gym, or on the at the graduate office at the university. So it will depends on the university policies about how the university will grant the assistantships. But there are different type of assistantships. The great the great benefit of this type of assistantships is that they provide you tuition waiver and additionally a monthly stipend. So you're saving money, and at the same time you are gaining money. And the only thing that you need to have to do is work 20 hours per week in return. You will not pay the money back, but you have to work 20 hours per week.
And if I may add, these are very competitive too. All of these are very competitive, but one of the reasons why they're very looked after by graduate students, it's because they provide you also work experience. specifically in the field that you are studying your degree in. So that is one of the things that is really, really important for if you have a research assistantship, then you're going to be doing research with the professors in the area that you're studying or teaching classes that in from your field. So they are very, very looked after and very competitive.
Yeah, exactly. And especially because these graduate assistantships are available not only for international students, but also for domestic students. Americans and international students are uh, fighting for these graduate assistantships. So yeah, it is a great resources. So bear them in mind, but also bear in mind that they are highly competitive. A good quality of this is that if you can spend the first year without any graduate assistantship, and you can maybe get it on your second year or on your second semester. So it's not a specific date to apply for them. Another great resources to have extra money. I will not say it's not a great amount of money, but it's a great way to have extra money, extra cash, is to have the opportunity to work on campus. As an international student, you can work on campus up to 20 hours per week during the academic term and up to 40 hours during breaks. So with this extra money, you can help you out with some of the daily basis expenses that you might have. Probably you will not pay rent because usually the amount per hour that you receive is based on the current wage of the state, but it can help you out a lot with your daily basis needs. And a third type of funding can be the loans. These loans allows candidates to borrow money that must be repaid. This is probably the mainly difference with the other type of financial aid that I just mentioned, but you have to pay the loans, usually with interest, but there are some loans that are very soft and that they will not charge you interests, but or maybe the tax rate is low. So these are the most common types of funding. When are you going to apply for this? Each of them has a special dates. So my best advice again is that look up for the specific loan, a specific scholarship, a specific fellowship, graduate assistant, or work that you want to apply, and prepare ahead when you want to require any of this financial aid. But mostly are going to be required that you are accepted in a university, um, the graduate assistantship, the work, the loans, the fellowships usually, and the scholarships. There are some scholarships that will also require that you are accepted in a graduate program, but there are other scholarships, for example, the Fulbright Garcia Robles Scholarship for graduate students, that will require um, that you are not accepted. But yeah, best advice, please look up for these guidelines and requirements of each financial aid type. And where you can find this, again, my best advice is that you approach or contact your Education USA Advising Center, the nearest to you, because usually the loans, the scholarships are different depending on where are you from, your age. You can find extra resources according to your nationality, for example, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, approach to your Education USA Advising Center to find out what are the opportunities according to your profile. University websites, also a great resource. Um, Especially for example, graduate assistantships. I'm not sure, Juanma, if you find out about your assistantship on the university website, but I have heard that some students um, have found information there.
No, I didn't. I found out when I had the acceptance letter.
Nice. Okay, another great resource is the Fulbright Student Program or federal or local education institution. We're gonna give you handout. It will be available after this session where you can find the links. And yeah, and that's now that you have understand what are the different types of financial aid, I would like to move on, and I think Juanma can help me in this, talking about the profile for eligibility.
Yes. So one of the things that people ask things like, then how do I, what is the profile of the student that they're looking for? And one thing that I really want you to understand is that these institutions are looking at this as an investment. They have money that they want to put to the service of students, but they want to invest it in students that are going to use it well. So they have this really detailed definitions of requirements that they're looking for in the students. So what are they looking for? Let's look together what is the profile they're looking for. One of the first things is that they are looking into academic merit. What does that mean? Well, we can understand that basically as good grades. But not only good grades, they're looking at what are some specific things that make you academic academically focused, academically outstanding. Um, Many times, the grade, a high GPA, it's going to be that. But also, what other things are you doing in your academic life? Do you have publications, right? Are you participating in research? Especially if you're looking into PhD programs. Also, in the academic world, also what has been your professional trajectory that is leading you to wanting to study this graduate program? Um, what have you done before that sparked your interest, and that's why you want to study this graduate program? And linked to that, what is your future career plan? Um, the 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 committee that is in charge of giving this money, this financial aid, they want to see that there is a place that you're coming from where your interest is being born, but you also have a clear view of the future and what you want to do with your graduate program. They can see clearly that this money is going to propel you in your career plans, that you understand that is not only about the graduate program, but what you want to do with that graduate program. They also want to see evidence that you're going to finish that program. They don't want to invest money and someone is going to drop off the program after 1 year or after one semester, right? Because they want to see the fulfillment of that. They want to, again, they're looking at this as an investment of their resources. Um, some programs are going to be looking at your financial need, not all of them. Some of them will require that the applicant will submit an application for financial need, and maybe they're going to ask you for your family income, your own income, but some of them are not going to based on that, right? So you want to also to understand if financial need is part of the requirements for a certain profile for that specific scholarship or financial aid opportunity or assistantship that you're applying for. They also want to see that you have leadership qualities. And when we think of leadership qualities, sometimes we think that someone that is guiding, maybe the president of organization, but leadership can look differently depending on the situation. Sometimes it's that you want to show initiative, creativity, that you started something, right? That you have that um, uniqueness, which is our next point. That is, what is making you different to the other pool of applicants? And we live in a world that where there's a lot of people that are really, really well prepared that are applying for the same spot that you're applying. But what makes you unique? What things in your personal story are going to be of interest for the admissions committee, for the scholarships committee, that they're going to say, we want to provide this money for this specific person. So unique is very important. There's other things that also that are important for some kinds of scholarships. Some of them focus on nationality. Um, there are going to be some scholarships that are looking specifically to bring students from very specific areas or regions in the world, especially those that are underrepresented. So, for example, if a student from a not really represented country, for example, let's say Madagascar, right? Maybe they don't, the school has no, or that program or that fellowship has never had a student from Madagascar, and they have a really good qualifications and all that, that could play in favor of that student. Specific programs also have sometimes interest on diversifying the student body. Some graduate programs are going to have way too many students from one specific country. So maybe in their next application season, they're going to say, let's give a little bit more priority on students that are coming from different cultural backgrounds or different countries. You want to look into trends in the financial support. So we know that at this moment, um, STEM fields are going to be receiving more money because sometimes they feel they get more money from the industry, sometimes they get more money um, from the government, but also um, there's going to be extra investment on some of those fields. So you want to learn and you want to see what are the trends, what are the agendas for the agencies or the governments or the institutions where the money is coming from, and you want to understand that and see, maybe for example, if the money is coming from a government, maybe the government that year has a specific emphasis on renewable energies, right? So any applicant that has a topic on renewable energy is going to have an advantage that year because they're making an, as a government, they're making an emphasis on that. Maybe they're making an emphasis on gender equality and or maybe in environmental issues. So you want to understand that and use that to your advantage. Understanding that also depends, also knowing where the money is coming from. If the money is coming from the Ministry of Education, or if it's coming from the Ministry of Culture or the Foreign Affairs, right? They're going to have different goals and different profiles of students that are looking for. So make sure that you understand what their principles are, and maybe you can highlight your um, characteristics or features that go along with those goals. For example, if I wanted to apply to the Fulbright scholarship, I know that they are all about mutual understanding, right? People from different cultures, specifically the United States and the local country understanding. So if I understand that that is their mission, that they have goals on that, I can highlight how am I going to fulfill that mission so I can become a better applicant for that specific scholarship. And it's not really lying or telling the organization what they want to hear, but is helping them see how I and the things that I've done, I help them to further their objectives. So we need to understand that part very, very well. Um,
Yeah, that
yeah.
is true. And actually, just let me share a brief story.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I got a Latinos in Agriculture scholarship because I did double uh, double dual degree for my master, and one of them was for international agriculture. So I remember that I study the scholarship, and I write my essay based on what was the purpose of this scholarship. So yeah, it's a great tip that you know the initiative that you want to apply for.
Yeah, yeah. That is it's great to you need to know where the money's coming from so you can understand how they want to invest the money. Right? Now, now coming back to our main question, am I eligible for financial aid? And I think we can go to the next slide if you can help me. Yes, thank you. So how can they improve? Maybe we now see this the profile, and maybe you're saying I'm not really sure if I fulfilled all the requirements and all that. So we're going to give you some tips for that. One of the tips that I think is really one of the most important ones is that you want to focus on the program that you want to study and not really just in the money. And I know that even when I was looking for a graduate program, one of the main things that I went to in the website is how much is it? And do they give scholarships? And it's normal. I don't know if that was also your case, Mabel, but it's normal. You want to know how much it costs, right?
Yeah, it is totally normal. Totally
It,
normal. I
it's okay.
remember that.
Yeah. But what we're suggesting and what we can help you with in Education USA is that you want to find your program, the program that best fits for you, that is going to help you to grow from where you are to where you want to be. And if that is clear for you, and the university can see that also, the university is going to say, wow, so for this student, we have what she needs. We have what he's looking for. So we are his spot. So they're going to offer you an acceptance. They're going to offer you a spot, and they're also going to give you some financial aid in the form of all the different things that we have said today. So that's what you want to first. That's when you want to start. The other thing is that you really want to make an honest assessment, evaluate yourself, see where you're standing right now in your qualifications. See how much of your career path is clear to you. If you can see clearly, this is where I want to be in 4 years. This is where I want to be in 10 years. And I need this master's degree. I need this PhD to help me get there. If that is clear for you, you're going to show it to the government that is giving you the money, to the foundation, to the loan organization, to the Fulbright committee, to the school committee, the university committee. All of them are going to say it. But if you don't have that clear, you need to work on that and say, what am I lacking? What do I need? Do I need more professional experience? Do I need more research experience on the topic? I need to work on my English. And it's okay if you see that right now is not the time for you. We can help you to get what you want, and we can help you at suggesting what some of the ways that you can improve. But if it's this is going to help you. I mean, if you need to take 2 years or 3 years, it's okay. And look for those where you can improve. Also, finding mentors is going to be important. I don't know if there were any mentors for you, Mabel, when you were looking, but I knew a couple of people that were doing what I wanted to do, right? That they were studying and asking them, so how do you get there? How did you get to that school, or how do you have that job? And seeing what things that they have in their CV or experience.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I
mhm.
did it. I also did it, and I think these are great advice, great tips and great advice because we have done it, right, Juanma?
Yeah, and you can use LinkedIn to see the history of that person. Where have they studied? What professional experience do they have? And look for some advice. You can contact them sometimes and say, "Hey, tell me about your professional career. Tell me about where did you study and what programs did you go to, and did you get any scholarships? And that's going to help you. One of the main things that we can suggest also continuing is going to your Education USA Center when opened. But right now we have virtual events like this because we have sessions on how to improve your CP, how to study for the TOEFL exam, ASA writing workshop. So go, but also if you are in the possibility to buy some of those courses online, you just do whatever you need to do to improve your profile. Maybe you need to get more ready on for your GMAT scores. Um, because you want to be competitive, because these programs are going to ask you for those high competitive scores. And then going to the last of our list, it is very important that you have a timeline, that you understand that it's going to take you some time to get ready and set goals and specific times for that. For example, you can say, I need to work on my English and I'm going to take this year to prepare for that. I don't have any work experience or research experience, so you can set some time because you're going to have a more effective application if you are more prepared, right? And one of the main things at the end is like your path is going to be unique. Maybe other people are ready because they had different experiences, but maybe you're not ready, and maybe you will see that maybe some of your friends are already in graduate school in the US or already graduated, or just your path is going to be unique. And I think don't compare yourself because you're going to be different. It's your own path. um yeah. And
Yeah, exactly. And just a couple more tips when you are applying for financial aid. Please make sure to tailor your CV according to your strengths. That's why it is important that you know that you can improve your profile of eligibility, because you can come up with more activities, more jobs to add to your CV. Also, a lot of these types of financial aid will require that you have an interview. So that's why it is important. I remember back in the days, I did like 3 or 4 interviews, some of them in English, some of them in Spanish. And I think it's really important that you improve your language skills in your own language and of course in English, but that you be prepared for writing, listening, interviews, anything that you can think of that can be involved in an application process. And also, please make sure to choose carefully your recommenders, because most of the scholarships, the loans, the fellowships, any type of financial aid, most of them will require that you submit letters of recommendation. It is important that you choose your recommenders carefully. They are going to give to the committee of the financial aid a different perspective of who you are. One thing is all the things that you can prove with your writings, with your application, but it's really important that the committee get to know you through others' eyes, and that's why it is important to choose your recommenders. Anyway,
perfect.
yeah. Anyway, I think that is all we have for today, right, Juanma?
Thanks. Yes. Thank you so much for entering to our session. We hope this information was useful for you. Please get in contact with your Education USA advisor. Go to educationusa.state.gov to find your closest advising center, um, and how to contact them during this time of health contingency. But yeah, so hopefully this was useful. It was a pleasure to provide you with some information, and we will see you then in other sessions. So enjoy
Yes.
the fair.
Yes. Enjoy the fair. Look go through the whole material that we have prepared for you. Have a nice day, all.